Welcome to the Range Podcast. I'm Ricky Brule, and with me is Jake Hollywood Iverson. Join us at the archery range, where we'll tell stories from the hunt, discuss technical bow shooting tactics and gear, and pick the brains of some of the most successful people to ever shoot a bow. Whether you're about to shoot that X for the win or send an arrow at a trophy buck, this podcast is for you. The Range Podcast is brought to you by Vapor Trail Archery, makers of the best bowstrings money can buy, originators of limb-driven arrow rest technology, and innovators of Stokerized stabilizer systems. Welcome to The Range, everybody. I'm your host, Ricky Brule, and I'm kicking it here with my co-host, Mr. Jake Hollywood Iverson. How you doing, buddy?
Pretty good, man. Happy to be repping Easton today for both of us.
Yeah. I was gonna say we did not do this on purpose.
No.
But we do have the same Easton hat on, and I will say that we are not sponsored by Easton. But Easton, if you are looking for a podcast to sponsor, we're your guys. Give us a call.
Yeah, I mean, we're open for suggestions from any arrow company. But we happen to be wearing Easton stuff. Just looking like dorks over here.
Stevarious.
Yeah, exactly. Anyone have Victory listening? Check.
Yeah, right. So anyway, today we don't have a guest. We're just we're gonna kind of talk about some things. Hollywood and I have been talking a lot about like the new bows, some of the new equipment that's been coming out. And so we want to talk a little bit about that. But first, just want to say thank you to all of our customers for heading over to vaportrailarchery.com and making a purchase during our Black Friday giveaway. We did pretty good. I'm pretty happy about that. And so we'll be tallying up, or we'll be collecting all the entries, and we'll be drawing the winner probably a couple days after this episode airs, which is Monday. So hopefully we'll be announcing the winner on Tuesday or Wednesday. So the other thing I wanted to talk about was our upcoming 12 Days of Christmas. That will begin on the 12th of December. And we got some pretty cool, some exciting things going on for that. We can't really talk, we're not at liberty to talk about it, but make sure you keep an eye on our social channels. And also, if you're signed up for a newsletter, you can keep an eye on your email inbox for more details on what we're going to be doing for Christmas. So we're really excited about that. Something new. We're going to do a limited drop, so we're pretty excited about that.
Super exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Very exciting. Very colorful.
Yes, more customization, so we're pretty stoked about that. And then also wanted to let you know about another chance that you'll have to win a Victor Arrow Rest Tricer, which is arguably one of the best tripods I've ever seen or used in my life.
It's smooth.
Yeah, they're very nice.
There you go.
And we're not sponsored by them either, but when we were in North Dakota, our buddy Nate was using one, and we had the chance to take a look at a couple different heads that he has, and he's got a couple of different configurations and incredibly light fluid heads. And then the whole concept behind having the more stable portion of the extendable carbon rod at the base is like, I'm like, why did nobody think about that until now?
I think it's because no one really uses tripods at the extent you do. I'm over here like I don't know much about this thing, so but yeah, it was pretty sweet.
Well, you think about it.
I know nothing about tripods other than the Amazon and Walmart ones, and the one that's holding that camera. So
yeah, so like the Manfrotto one here that's holding the camera, the heavier duty part is at the top, and then it gets really spindly down at the bottom, so it has no stability at the bottom. So like, yeah, for camera work and stuff, I suppose it could work okay, but like especially for hunters when you're sitting there glassing and you're looking through a spotting scope and that wind is blowing everything around, it just doesn't have as much stability. So
yeah,
those things are pretty rad.
Yeah, it was super smooth. I can tell you one thing, that Manfrotto is not light.
I mean, relatively speaking, it is, but
compared to that Tricer, though?
Oh, yeah. I mean, dude. And that Manfrotto for its time was great, but it's 15 years old.
I'd say for everything it does is probably light, but like now you put it up against the Tricer, it's like, yeah, they're not the same.
Yeah, garbage. garbage in comparison. So in any case, going back to what we were talking about, so they are having a giveaway called Bigger Than the Hunt, and they're giving away over $50,000 in prizes. We're giving away a Victor with it's like a full bow package. There's Sever broadheads, there's Easton arrows, there's a dialed proof sight, there's some stabilizers, not from Stokerized, but from another company. What else am I missing?
I don't know.
Sicario, PSE Sicario bow.
Say I saw the bow.
So a pretty sweet package. And all of the proceeds are going to support a company called Restoration 225, which is a foster care program. They seek to connect churches, volunteers, and communities with families and children in foster care. So it's a pretty cool program. It helps kids, so make sure you head on over to the Tricer website. It's right on their homepage. You can click. I think it's $10 an entry, and that'll get you in to win $50,000 worth of prizes.
Yeah,
so it's us, Tricer, and then there's like 40 plus other companies involved. So it's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, I think I saw the ad. Was that on our own page?
I put it
Possibly.
on our Instagram today, this morning.
I saw that. It looks pretty good. There's a lot of stuff there, though. Lots.
Yep. So big thanks to Weston over at Tricer and Keegan over at Stephen Gold for reaching out and getting us involved in that giveaway.
I was wondering where Keegan came into this, but now I'm remembering.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I think I know someone.
Yeah. He was like, they didn't have a rest to give away with the bow, and he was like, let me get you connected with Ricky, and so we had a chat, and so here we go.
Sweet.
So yeah, so that's what I got for all the nitty gritty fun stuff. Thanks for tuning in. You can find the video version of this episode on the Vapor Trail YouTube channel, so make sure you head on over there. Give us a like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you can be up to date on all things archery. And so today the topic of discussion is really just whatever comes to mind. This is going to be a BS session. And so I figured I would start it off with the question for Hollywood, and that question is, Hollywood, what grinds your gears about the archery industry?
I don't know, working it long enough, what doesn't? The end.
There you go. Well, that was a bad question.
Yeah.
I guess I need to get a little bit more creative.
I don't know. I won't say we're guilty of it too, but I don't know. This year I'll definitely say it's 2026 will be interesting, I think, more than 25 was. Because you look at, like, for our pro shop, trying to get pricing and whatnot nailed down, just the economy as a whole seems pretty slow. Be curious to see where 26 goes. Are we going to have tariff wars round 2, more like round 8? Because it's just like, I don't know, everything's pretty expensive now, and you start seeing everything go up, and it's like, oh, that's imported, and now I don't know. That it'll be interesting to see. The archery industry is already like a struggle bus and a half, and and I part of that, I see a lot of it on Archery Talk. Oh, all these manufacturers are putting these prices out there just for greed. Oh, really? Yeah. So it's like, are the bows expensive? Yes, but there's justified costs there when you start looking at the materials. I mean, I hate that the bows are $2,000+. I hate that our arrow rest is damn near $400. But once it's, once you put everything behind it, even like the one dude at Hamsky said, paper towels cost more. Insurance costs more. Paper costs more. Mm-hmm. And when you add that all in, behind the scenes, everything's more expensive. So it all gets wrapped into the cost of goods. So, I guess I'll just, end of the year is coming to an end here, and it'll be interesting to see what happens to companies. I've seen a couple of shops close locations or just straight up close their shops, and I think, I don't know, bow shops are not what they once were. It's all AI, man.
Oh, don't get me going down that rabbit hole.
It's all online shopping,
yeah.
man.
Yeah, we probably will get into that a little bit, but yeah, I mean, I hear you. You know, it's the Bass Pros and like some of those bigger stores, you know, things like that. You know, they're completely getting out of like the real like elite kind of go down the deep rabbit hole technical archery type of stuff. I don't know if that makes any sense, but
no,
like
I know what you're saying.
They're getting out of it, which is probably a good thing for the pro shops, right? But at the same time, it speaks to like the direction that consumers are going. You know what I mean? Like crossbows, you know what I mean? That's something that's a real big hot button issue, and you get a little bit of a smile on your face. But like we were talking about this earlier, and we've talked about it multiple times about how, you know, with crossbows, you know, being more prevalent on the archery landscape, now one family can own one crossbow. You could have 10 people in your family, they can all shoot one crossbow. You know what I mean? So now there isn't that. Everybody has to have their own bow. It kills accessory sales. We're an accessory manufacturer. You know what I mean? So that certainly hurts. And then I don't know how much truth there is to this, but you made mention of the podcast that you were just recently listening to, and them talking about how crossbow manufacturers don't have to pay FET.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and from very credible sources, so we haven't really looked it up to back up that information, but they're credible sources. I got to imagine there's something to be said about that. So
I mean, maybe they have to pay it on like the bow itself, but yeah, there's a lot less accessories. Like you said, you don't need an arrow rest for a crossbow.
Mm-hmm.
You don't. Well, I guess you need strings, duh. But you don't need a stabilizer.
Stabilizers, yeah.
You know, and those are FET taxable items, which all goes back to the public lands, conservation, supposed to be anyway, all that stuff. But, yeah, when, you know, crossbows are taking up a good chunk of the market, and like we had a guy locally that came in and said, well, yeah, it's just easier, you know, I don't have to worry so much about staying in practice. It's like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, and we're forced to like follow suit. I mean, I'm not going to tell it if a guy comes in and wants to order a crossbow, I'm not going to tell him to take a hike. You know what I mean? Like if I can get it for him, I'll get it. But and again, let's preface by saying not against crossbows, not against crossbow hunters. And I guess we won't really get too far down that deep down that hole, but that's part of the issue that I see right now, and how it's affecting pro shops is that, you know, there's less accessory sales, and there's just less bows that need to go out the door.
That's a prime example.
In general.
That's a really good point. Yeah, if you're a pro shop right now, I mean, we have a pro shop, but I was just going to say, like, I'm not a pro shop owner, but close enough to know what's going on. I would be willing to bet if you ran your pro shop with Raven 10-point, and I don't know, let's just say Raven and 10-point, and you brought like 5 Matthews, 5 Hoyts, you know, like hardly any compounds, and you went pretty light on all other accessories, but you brought a piss pile of bolts, backup strings for crossbows, and a couple of crossbow companies, and then anything else you did for accessory sales for vertical bows or compound bows, did that on websites, I guarantee you'd be able to run a business.
Mm-hmm.
You can probably sell crossbows like nothing. You know, as long as it's the right price range, price them at $500 to $1,000, you know, $500 to $1,000. I bet that pro shop would be just fine.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you sell a ton of them right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty crazy. That is the market we're in. I think our one shop down in Indiana was saying he sold like almost 100 Ravens this year. It's like, that's insane.
Yeah, like, I mean, and good for us too, because that means if that dealer comes to us for strings, we're going to be selling a lot of Raven bowstring sets for sure.
I mean, I guess the way you would hope it goes is that maybe it gets people into archery, and then maybe they want to actually, like, I guess that's the way I got into archery. Rifle's too easy. Let's do something harder.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so maybe the crossbow guys will say, this is easy. Let's try something that takes a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, but
Yeah,
you definitely need a shop to go to for those things.
Yeah, and I guess I'm a little bit along those lines too, where, because when I was rifle hunting with my dad, it was we had you picked a weekend, and it was either the first weekend, which was 2 days, or the second weekend, which was 4 days, and that's all you got with a gun. And I was like, I picked up a bow because I wanted to be able to hunt more. I wanted more of a season, and so that's why I started doing it. And I was also kind of a nerd like that too.
Well, maybe that get more people into archery, vertical archery too.
Yeah.
Seasons.
Yeah, exactly.
Make a compound season and a crossbow season.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't want to go too far down that hole. It could go sideways.
Yeah, we could be here for a very long time.
Yeah,
for sure.
And we don't want to bore people too much. But
Mm-hmm.
it'll be an interesting year coming up. That's for sure.
Yeah.
We don't have anything like super huge, I'd say, releasing. So I know last year, I swear to God, dude, I think we were talking about the Victor about every other episode,
Mm-hmm.
So now that that's, established and everything else, and rolling out, we're doing a few changes to those, and that's, kind of it. And yeah, I don't know. This year seems a little more relaxed going into it.
Yes, and I mean, I'm getting ramped up here. I've got a lot of different packaging that I have to put together now.
I guess your side is hosed.
We've got a ton of promotional stuff that we got to start preparing for ATA. So I mean, we do have some stuff coming out, but like you said, I mean, it's not going to be
a 6-year project. That is, yeah.
No, but it is some pretty cool concepts and some pretty revolutionary stuff. So we're pretty excited about that. And so we're basically just buckling down on that right now and trying to get that all prepared. And, so it's a frantic, basically chicken with our heads cut off deal right now, because I've got so many different things on my list and trying to multitask them as much as I possibly can so I can keep the ball rolling and make sure that we have everything done in time. So, but yeah, ATA is going to be interesting now this year. For those of you folks that don't know, there's going to be a retail. It's what is it called? The Super Show for 2 days.
I have no idea.
Yeah, so
it's ATA's last attempt of keeping it open.
Yeah, so you have your standard dealer show, which is 3 days long, and then for 2 days they're opening the doors for retail customers to come in. So it'll be just like your regular consumer show. So that'll be pretty cool. We're gonna be, I don't know if I should. Maybe I won't talk about that yet. One of the big plans we have, we'll hold on to that for a little bit.
We might have some stuff.
But yeah, we've got some exciting things for that show that we're gonna try to create some buzz about at ETA. But it's gonna be interesting. And then the Rushmore Rumble, of course, is gonna be local too. So it'll be interesting to see. There's gonna be a lot of people there.
That'll be cool.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if I know we talked about it right away last year about, me shooting the Rumble, but I don't know. I drew 2 out-of-state tags, and I've been a little busy, so
yeah.
I haven't shot a target bow. I actually thought about bringing it in recently, but I'm like, let's be honest, man. Like, you got ATA, the pricing to get done and make sure that's good, so you're not touching a target bow that's going to be worth, competing for anything. So,
yeah. Well, and I thought about it too. I was like, man, I should shoot it. And then it's like, if I do it, I don't want to be sitting in a booth, all day.
Yeah.
And then, I want to be able to just like focus on shooting and be relaxing in between those times instead of having to be like buzzing constantly all day, every day. I don't think that would work very well. So I don't think it would be good use of my time.
My hard part is just spending money why? Well, it's almost like the tack thing, It's like, why am I going to spend the money just to put? I mean, if I want to go up to Grant Schleusner or someone else and just give him $100, I'll just give him frickin' $100. Like, I know he's gonna win. What am I gonna do?
Yeah.
Like, I think we're at that stage where it's like, yeah, we can post good scores, but our scores aren't going to get us any money back. So if I'm going to just throw money, like, I don't know how these guys do that where they're just, I mean, most of them actually have better contention than I do, that's for sure. But it's like, I'm not going to be competitive at all. So here's $50. But
Coming straight from the mouth of Eeyore.
yeah.
That's our new nickname for Hollywood, Eeyore.
I like it. Eeyore wood.
But so what else is going on? We got some new bows out. Hoyt's got a new rig. Prime's got some new rigs. Matthews.
Yeah. I heard Expedition had a new bow. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, we're supposed to have one in the pro shop too. And Fred Bear's got a new one that we do not have yet either.
No, that one's been on order for a while. I actually got to see it and shoot it. I was out of state hunting when Expedition stopped. So that kind of sucks. And then now they released it like a month ago and we still don't have a bow here. So, yeah.
But let's
I'm
talk
intrigued.
So let's talk about, Hoyt, right? AX3 and the RX10. I don't think they really did a whole lot different, except they do have like a new tuning system.
Yeah, I was going to say they just put new limb pockets on them. That's it.
Okay.
I mean, and we're going to probably glaze over a lot of these just like real quick where someone's going to be like, oh, well, they did this or that. Oh, okay, whatever. For the most part, new limb pockets. Here you go. Here's a new tuning system.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and for the record, if you want to chime in, please do.
Yeah.
If you're thinking it, type it.
Call me out.
Do it.
Get mad.
Yeah. Tell us what's up.
And then go to your dealer and support your local dealer.
Yeah. Yeah. Because y'all are making us feel like complete and total professional experts over here because nobody ever comments on anything. So we're like, is this a false sense of professionalism or?
If you're in the Minnesota area, use your discount code Woody for 15% off at any archery country.
Oh, man, I hope someone walks into an archery country and says that.
So bad. Say hi to Wade or Jake or Dan. Oh, boy.
Hey, guys.
Yeah, so Hoyt.
Listening.
Yeah, limb pocket tuning system. And then Bear, same thing.
What's their bow called again?
The Redeem.
Redeem.
So they took Elite. Hold on a second. They took Darton's limb pocket system, basically, where you can apply pressure to the different limb tips. I guess in the vertical plane, where Hoyt went on like the horizontal plane, where you can push and pull. And then Elite. Do you know? Just kidding. I'm kind of being a dick, but yeah.
I don't.
Poor Elite.
I don't know anything that's going on with Elite right now.
Matthews, they came out with an ugly-looking bow that might have gotten lighter. I don't know.
They say lighter and faster.
Yeah, faster. That's the big thing. It is fast.
Lighter and faster. But with that, I mean, it doesn't matter who makes it. But unless you're PSE, you increase your speed, you increase your the stiffness of your draw curve.
Yeah, exactly. But it's in brown.
Kodiak brown.
I'm totally being an Eeyore over here on these bows.
Yeah.
Just like lame, but no, it's. I mean, the arc thing. I mean, honestly, maybe I don't know. I'd be curious. I haven't shot any of these bows yet. Well, I guess I just shoot the AX3 33, and that's pretty nice. Yeah.
You guys got me all like kind of pumped up about Hoyt right now.
Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna shoot a Hoyt ever.
They got a nice tuning.
And you guys know that for me that's a swear word, but
right.
Just and between you guys talking about it, us having that AX3 here in the shop, and then Hubs and there's a couple other people I'm working with that are shooting Hoyts too, and
a lot of influence.
And then the fact that when Hubs was on the phone the other day, he was like kind of dogging a little bit on Prime for not doing anything special this year. And then I was like, well, what did Hoyt do? And then he was like, they have a new tuning system.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, they do. Okay, I rest my case. Like, cool. And I still honestly haven't even looked into it, but like I'm glad that they did something new. And
yeah, I was going to say that. Like, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I'm with you kind of on the Eeyore thing. I don't think there's like anything too super exciting going on.
No, and that's
This
where
year.
I was just going to jump in and say, keep the Eeyore going. It's like prime. You got limb legs. Get your limb legs here. Come
And
get your limb legs.
and you know what?
Cool, guys.
Sign me up. Like I immediately was like, Brian, I need one right now,
Yeah.
and I gave him my credit card. So
I'm not going to lie,
have
it's
one.
nice, but
I have one on the way, and it's not mostly because of the legs. It's because it's like within days of them launching a 34, I was telling Brian, I'm like, when are you gonna make a longer axle to axle? When are you gonna make a 36? And they went 35. So
perfect.
I'm like, that's what I want. I want longer axle to axle. So that was the big thing that really kind of pulled me in. I mean, I'm shooting the 34 just fine. So it's not like a 35 is gonna tighten up my groups. But I don't know what it is. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if it's if it's kind of like a measuring contest a little bit where I need to have the longer axle to axle.
You're
I don't know.
probably going to stick with the 6-inch brace.
Yes, because I do want the added speed.
They are, dude. I can't help but agree with that one podcast. You know which one I'm talking about. But like when they're talking to Nate Grace, it's like, and Brian, like I think they are the only bow company that's doing it. But man, I'd bitch slap them too. And I bet Nate feels it, and he kind of admitted it too. You just offered a 6-inch and a 7-inch brace. But you also just offered a 30, a 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 30, like how far?
37.
30, yeah. I mean, it's not, I think I may have said 32. I don't think they offer a 32. But either way, for the most part, they offered basically a 7-inch range of bows plus a brace height difference of 6 or 7. And it's like, oh my God. I mean, thank you for keeping the cams the same. Because at least you're not like Matthews, where it's like, oh, we need 5,000 mods to have this poundage, this let off, this, all that stuff.
Or PSE. Holy crap.
Yeah.
SE2, EC2, SE B1 5692.
Yeah. No one's perfect, but that's definitely not it either. Because it's like you can't carry that many SKUs. You're just going to go with a few, and then, okay, you want the 7-inch brace? Well, now you're going to wait. So, I mean, that's the way I look at it, and it's just unfortunate. Like, I mean, it'd be nice to have one of every size, but that's a lot of SKUs, man, to pick up. But
what was Nate saying about that? He was basically just saying that they're fools for doing it.
Well, so it's a headache and a half. I mean, think of the inventory. Because now you're having to manage all the this part. Well, it's actually easier since
they're going shared parts.
Right, so it's easier since they're going with
the carbon tubes.
Was it 5 pieces riser?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pieces.
So they all have about the same parts. All you're doing is different carbon tube lengths. So that's not so bad.
I think your end pieces are a little bit different too.
Right. So if you get the 7-inch brace, it's a straighter riser to bring those limb pockets back further, or the axle obviously back further away from the grip. But he's basically just saying like, yeah, it's a headache, but at least a person, if they want, like I think Brian said he's doing a 33 and a 7. So 33-inch bow, 7-inch brace, super forgiving, not super long, not super short. That's probably going to be a hammer of a shooting bow. With that combo, but yeah, it's a headache for them too with, just a lot of SKUs. And I think that's what I was going to say with like, I'm giving them crap for just doing limb legs. I'm giving, Hoyt crap for throwing in it's a good tuning system, but all they did was tuning, all these things are so little. And I think that we might have been talking about it with Hubs, but it's like these bow companies are, gun to their head, you better do something different every year. So if that's the expectation that they're put up against from all the freaking people out there, I would say I'm not one of them.
Yeah.
I don't think you're one of them. I think we could wait 2 years for something crazy.
Yeah.
But,
fine.
When there's guns to their head saying you better do something, that's what you're going to get.
Yeah.
Your bow you bought last year isn't going to work with this year's limb legs. Sorry about it. You wanted something new. It sucks. It sucks, but it's like, I don't know. This whole industry is just weird like that.
Well, yeah, and we used to get that too, like because we have multiple iterations of our Pro V, right? And I think like 3 or 4 different iterations. And I've said this before about our limb drivers. If there's any fault that they have, it's that they almost last too long, right? So like, we'll get a guy that calls us up and he's having some issues with his Pro V that he bought in like 2010, and we don't have the parts, we can't fix it. There's nothing we can do, but you can upgrade to like our latest version of it, and there's a cost to you, but at least we're not making you buy a whole entire new arrow rest, right?
Right.
But then you get so many guys that complain. They're just like, oh well, that sucks. I got to pay extra money. And it's like, well, dude, it's not like if you bought last year's Chevy truck and then they rolled out some new feature for 2026. They're not just going to send you a brand new truck because you don't have the features. You know what I mean? Like, so it's just, I don't know, vehicles. I love comparing to vehicles the best. Like, bowstrings are like tires on a car. Right?
Yeah,
they're going to wear out. You got to replace them all the time. If you're not paying close attention, you could have a disastrous, catastrophic failure, that kind of thing. But
I want a new set of strings because I didn't install them correctly. Oh, so do you get a new set of tires when you don't put the lug nuts on?
Right? I mean,
go to your dealer, figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a tough one, especially in the DIY age,
Yeah.
And then speaking of that too, like all of the YouTube education and stuff like that, it's like we've been talking about this recently about how, so now all these bow companies need to have tuning features with their bows. Mm-hmm. And like these up and coming bow technicians are like, they're like, oh, center shot and, through the burger hole, and like that's gospel. And if the bow doesn't shoot properly with that setup, then there's something wrong with the equipment.
Yeah.
It's just like, no, you go back to when I first started learning how to tune bows, and I was telling Hollywood this. I mean, some of the old Hoyts, man, like we would pull the cam off and we would throw a thicker shim on one side of the cam, and we'd sand the other one down to make it fit so we could shift the cam over.
I'm laughing because this, oh God, Luke would appreciate this one. It's like you get both sides of the coin where it's like you have exactly that. They set it up exactly how it's supposed to be, 13/16. Okay, well now use your stupid limb tip thing that Matthews did. Use any of those tuning features. Mm-hmm. Well, I shouldn't have to. Then why the hell did you buy it?
Yeah.
Why did they put that in there? Mm-hmm. Because if you read your Hoyt owner's manual as of a year ago, and they're still running shims. They still have, if you have this reaction of an arrow in your tune, use this spacer with this spacer, and this should do this to your. Why would they? I mean, no engineer just wrote that up because they freaking were bored in March, of whatever year. Mm-hmm. No, it's there for a reason. Use the freaking shims.
Right.
Right. So yeah, to your point, it's like we've, a lot of the newer age techs are so used to this, it has to be this 13/16 through the center, gotta be that. Mm-hmm. Well, okay, Matthews has a different, cam cycle, or their geometry on their bow is different.
Yeah.
Can you or even the burger, like what we were saying, the burger hole might be set differently. Run it through the center of that one, I dare you. Mm-hmm. So like it's not just cut and dry. It never has been in archery. That's the fun part of it. There's so many moving parts. It's everything is a different stroke, literally every time. Mm-hmm. But there's the tuning features are nice, but yeah, it's like now you're gonna have guys that are gonna be way more stringent on this 13/16s. Don't want to move nothing.
Right. Yeah, I mean, if you're relying on all these tools that the bow manufacturers are providing, we still need to be teaching some of the older skills. I mean, think about when I first started tuning and stuff too. Like, it was kind of right when the Bowtech binary system came out, and they had a really wide shelf, like the sight picture was really wide. And that was different because Matthews was very narrow. Like their riser was very, very narrow at that time. And like when you got your paper tune, and if you were to look at where your arrow is, like it is not right behind your string when you line it all up. I mean, it's like flared way out to the left in order to get a proper tune, in order to get that arrow to fly properly.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like nowadays, if a guy's arrow is like just slightly off from behind the string, they're like freaking out about how it's not set up properly and how it's not. And it's just like, holy crap, like go tune a 2005 Bowtech Allegiance.
Right.
You'll never get it to tune with the arrow being directly behind the string, because the way that binary system works and the way that the cable slide pulls those cables over. But now that's what's nice about all these tuning systems. Excuse me. But still, like, I don't know. It's just the things you have to go through back in the day to get a bow to tune properly, and the creativity that you needed sometimes. Like sometimes you would back a limb bolt out an eighth of a turn, or you would, to get your tiller on, or sometimes you would, manipulate the length of the cables and strings to get things taken care of. You know what I mean? Like, it's laughable when people call us and they go, my poundage is off on my bow, when they put a new set of strings and cables on, and it's like,
well, that was the part that I was waiting for you to get to, is the cable thing, because speaking of tuning systems, like Darton has, and now Elite, I think, is licensing it from them, is like that turnbuckle system or something like that to basically adjust your timing. You just twist up the cable. Mm-hmm. And I think Nate actually said it, where he's like, oh, I guess I didn't realize putting in a press and putting 1/2 twist in the cable was that hard.
Right.
Like, honestly, I mean, the point that Darton and Elite are making is a very valid one. Most, in the DIY age, unfortunately, there go screw your dealer again. You don't need a bow press, you can just in the field, boom, work on it, done. Mm-hmm. But with your prime, unfortunately you would need a bow press, but again, it forces the dealer thing, mm-hmm. Go see your dealer. It's someone, someone that should be trusted to work on your equipment. And then it's like, for me, if someone came in and said, hey, I think my cams are out of time, throw it on the drawboard. Yep, you're out by, I don't know, 1/8 inch, 1/4 inch. All right, let me go throw 2 twists in or take 2 twists out, whatever. Done. Not that hard.
Right.
But it's, we got to put in some more bumper cars and Band-Aids for, these guys wanting to not go to a dealer or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. I don't know. As a dealer, it's definitely convenient. I like that I can just go, if we're on the range or something, mm-hmm. oh, you got a little bit of this reaction going on, like you can play with it right then and there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's cool. I appreciate that, not having to press a bow every time. Or even do you remember, I guess I'm thinking of probably the same era, the mid-2000s, all the draw stops with the limb stops. Mm-hmm. Oh, those bastards were a pain, because now you have to get out a certain finger for your bow press.
Yeah.
So now you don't have to worry about that. Yep. You don't have to worry about your fingers on the bow press, crushing a draw stop, or, forgetting to put it back in, and now you have a grenade. So all these things are great, but at the same time, it's
now you have a grenade. Yeah.
yeah, it's fun.
And that's almost like it's almost like a hidden feature that I think a lot of bow manufacturers started shifting over to when the
grenades,
when the press manufacturers started, kind of shifting away from the limb press to the fingers up on the ends of the limbs, which became a necessity, because you remember the old Apple presses, right? It was just a little barrel that went on the limbs, but they weren't parallel, you know what I mean? So you could do that, but now you have to be, with some of those beyond parallel, you have to be up on the tips of the limbs in order to get it to press. And that was definitely one nice thing that I never even really thought about, how they almost just kind of quietly rolled out new systems that didn't require limb stops anymore,
Yeah. Yeah.
And the selling point then, though, is that your draw stop is hitting a solid limb.
Rock solid.
Yeah. And not hitting your cable, because your cable has a little bit of give. But now I think, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just because the bows are, you're just getting so much preload on those cables that it is really kind of hard to, once you hit that wall and you settle in, it really doesn't move too much.
No. And I mean, at the same time too, a target archer is going to say you want a little bit of give, so then you just keep pushing and pulling.
Right.
So it's honestly better to have that over, and I remember the era of the limb stop. You'd have like, this guy brings in one with like a, what's that material, like PVC or, some sort of like, tubing. They'd have like their own tubing they put on. Well, it's a little more spongy. I like it that way, or it's like, this one's rock solid. And it's like, you're basically doing the opposite of what the limb stop was supposed to be, which is rock solid. But yeah, I don't know. It's definitely a new era these days. Do you remember when was it PSE that kind of started doing that? I'm trying to remember if it's them or another company that went to, when their limb tips or their limbs started getting so short, and then they were also beyond parallel. There's a lot of people that put them in like the Sherlock presses and blow the suckers up because there was not enough like surface area to really bend that limb back. And so you pretty much had to go to the fingers because, like what you're saying,
Yeah, because essentially all you're doing is you're just flexing those limbs inward, and it's not doing it's not doing anything. It's not loosening the cables.
I mean, imagine trying to stuff it in between there.
Yeah.
Like you're just going to blow the limb apart.
Yeah, that one might be okay, but I remember, I don't remember what year it was. I don't know if it was the Carbon Spider or when Hoyt had, now you had to have a specific like arms for the last chance presses.
Yeah.
And we didn't have those at the old shop, so what I would do is I would prop up a foam target, and then I had a perfectly 2x4 cut to the perfect length that I would jam in there up against the grip, because otherwise, if you didn't have that tool, the bow would push out and down.
Yep.
And just pop right out of your press.
When I was working at Shields, we had instantly, like, they had the wherewithal to get those conversion kits.
Yeah.
So we had them right away, but I still had them fly out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there was one night, I'll never forget it. It's like, I say the story not that often, but it's like, I had the fingers in there, and what the problem was, they would just throw like, I don't know, I'm going to say it's Elmer's glue, school glue behind these stupid rubber pads. And so this is supposed to hold the limb and basically the whole system in place. And then, you work at a Shields, dude, we're pressing bows like, none other. And so, or maybe a high volume dealer, either way, we're pressing a lot of these bows, and that glue eventually starts wearing down, so it'll start sliding.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I think I was there all alone the one night, and I had like one store lead that is I think he's bow hunted, but mainly a fisherman. And I remember I was pressing a Defiant, and I don't know, I think I stepped away for a second helping a guy turn around, and like this right side of the limb is like almost out of the press. And I'm like, oh my God. And so I'm like holding on to the limb pocket, and then I'm like calling him on the freaking zebra phone. I'm like, get over here now. Like, I need you. Like, this thing's about to fly out. So, yeah, that was the Defiant. Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, there was dealers were real happy about that because they had to, it was like a $280 kit that you had to buy. And I was like, I'm not buying that kit. I'm just going to cut a 2x4. And
it was almost as if
sketchy, but it worked.
Well, what's his name? Griv, George Riles. It's like, he's been with Hoyt forever. It's almost like he was like, he's also with Last Chance. Yeah. Guys, I got this great idea. Let's make this only compatible with our system. And it's going to be $200 extra on top of the $1,200 bow, on top of the $700 press. That's a good idea. I don't know what happened there, but God, it's like $200 for those stupid limb fingers, and then, yeah.
I like Griv, so I hope I'm just going to proclaim that that's not what happened.
Oh, no, 100%. I would hope he'd take that with a good thing of humor.
Yeah.
He's just marrying between the two companies, bridging the gap, Hoyt and Last Chance.
Yeah, there was a lot of dealers not happy with that. I talked to a lot of them.
No, it was pretty annoying those days. But to do full circle here, and I guess I can shut the hell up for whatever else you were trying to say, Expedition actually has like a pretty interesting system, I'd say, this year. I think it'll be pretty sweet seeing what they have to offer, Because like everyone else, yeah, it seems like they really didn't do anything, but Expedition has like the most to prove, I guess, and they're seem to be making a big push for it, you know, with their limb tuning or cam tuning system out on the limb tips. You know, that'll be interesting to see how it goes for them, but haven't seen one, so.
Yeah, we're still waiting on getting a couple of, what is it, the next light?
Yeah, the next light, 30 and 33, so I think those are good sizes. Everything looks cool. I mean, basically what they did is they caught up with where everyone else is. And I think that's why it's like a little more exciting, because it's like, oh, they did a big move where, you know, Prime's already had this, PSE's already had that, Hoyt's already had this, and now Expedition's like, hey, we're still here. You know, throwing something at it. I guess Bowtech, they won't be releasing until the show, so don't know what they're doing. I would heavily assume, which blew my mind, that, well, maybe Prime will next year, but everyone's going 5-piece, so I almost feel like maybe Bowtech will. I don't know.
Yeah.
If they're not going to do that, they're going to stick with their binary system, which is just fine because they have the awesome, oh God, that tuning deal, you know,
center
deadlock system. Yeah.
Yep.
So that's awesome, but maybe they'll go 5-piece.
Because what their flagship right now is the Virtue.
Yeah, the Virtue, and then the Proven 34. The Virtue's the one for guys with deeper pockets.
Yeah, that's the Magnite.
Yeah. I actually just saw that Kevin Strother won his lawsuit with Pure Archery.
Really?
Yes, and Pure Archery may be infringing on his now. Tell me how that works.
On that Truth Bow?
Yep. Because did
Really?
you see his cam tuning system?
No.
Same thing. And obviously, they just roasted Athens on it.
Well, I was just going to say, yeah, they just won the suit against Athens and basically buried them. So how do they lose that?
I'm assuming it was something to do with he filed maybe sooner than them, or his is just different enough because of how they worded theirs. I never go on Facebook, and somehow Kevin Strother is like a suggested post for you. And it's like a photo of like his patent, and he's like, "Yep, just see it, you know, whatever it was, like, the lawsuit with Bowtech is done, and I'm in the right, and basically they're in the wrong."
I wonder if
like,
he had
whoa.
prior art or something like that. Like
That's
if
what I'm
he
thinking.
had previously designed it, and then, yeah,
Bowtech may have laughed him off, you know, or something years ago, and I don't know. It's interesting. I'll never shoot one of their bows, but good job, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I have kind of a bad taste for Kevin Struthers. He just seems kind of like a career, like he just made his career off of ripping people off. I mean, he's innovated a lot of things in the industry, but I don't know. And it's all hearsay. Like I haven't done the research. I don't know. So it's hard I really shouldn't speak completely about, you know, how I feel about all that. I don't know. Whatever. It doesn't matter.
He's a serial jumper. That's a fact.
Yeah.
You know. So
something going on there. I don't know what the deal is, but speaking of Facebook, I don't know. I sent you a message. I sent you a reel that I saw yesterday. Again, I'm not big on Facebook, but I happened to be on there, and I saw that APA has a very
I did
unique
reply.
Stabilizer system that I was like, huh. So yeah, it's like a quick detach system that goes on the bottom limbs. I think it basically probably mounts to the pocket somehow, but then it's somewhat extended out over the limb. And then there's a quick detach mount for a front stabilizer, and then 2 rear stabilizers, and then it doubles as a bow
That's
pod.
your bow stand.
Yeah. I was like, huh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I think my response to you is like, well, that's one take at it. And honestly, it's probably the cheapest.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. You're just doing QDs, you know, that everyone has.
Mm-hmm.
You can slap in any stabilizer.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, I don't know how the heck it attach to your bow if you don't have an APA. Maybe it works with, everyone else's, but
Yeah,
it looks heavy.
Yeah, I guess I didn't look into it deep enough to see, but it was APA posted it. And it, I guess it's one of those things too where it does seem like a super cool idea, but then at the same time, like how does it, in order for the bipod to function properly, you have to have an offset bar on both sides.
Right.
And maybe you don't want an offset bar on both sides, but I suppose you could have one heavier than the other.
That's what I was thinking when I watched that video for the second or third or fourth time. I was just like, I don't want one on the right side.
Yeah.
So then what?
Yeah.
And then that's what was going through my head. One has to be lighter than the other. And then not only that, I don't know. I'd be interested to see how that would shoot. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely a kind of a bulky system, I think, for a hunting setup. But I think for target, it could be something kind of neat.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're calling it, but maybe I should look it up and see if I dive in a little bit more. Because that was it. I just saw the video, and then I was like, send to Hollywood. We'll talk about it tomorrow. And then
never do. We just
but
talk
here
about
we are.
Crossbows and e-bikes all day. That's all we like.
So what else? What else is going on? I don't know. I think that's about it. I think we kind of hit most of the BS. I mean, there's probably a lot more we could talk about that we'll think about later. But
seasons are coming to an end, and I guess the only thing that's really on the docket, will be ATA. What is it called?
it is the APA Control System SCS.
Damn.
Okay, yeah. So it's like it looks like a couple of like some kind of Lego set or like constructs.
Can I get that without the stabilizers? What's the price of that without the stabs, please?
$288
Oh my gosh.
is
That
retail.
I'm assuming that comes with your 6-inch bars, maybe.
I'm guessing it does, but stabilizer sold separately. Boy, you're 600 deep.
Ooh.
But it looks like,
It's made with
yeah,
gold.
I think it is. I don't know if you'd be able to adapt it. Only compatible with Black Mamba Pro 6 model. So that's...
Damn. So you're buying $300 on top of your bow, and you don't even get the stabs.
Yeah, dude, oof, yeah.
We're going to have a talk with marketing on that one. What's the thought there?
I like the guys over at APA, so I'm not gonna speak to what I truly feel about that.
I get it. I'm sure there's some sort of justification behind that price. There always typically is, but wow.
Yeah, I mean, I think the price is probably justified. The fact that it's only works on one bow in only their lineup, you know what I mean? Like, I guess I would have probably tried to go back to the drawing board and make it more universal so that anybody could use it.
What's that guy's name from the comedy show?
Joey Diaz?
No, I really wish he weren't here or something like that. Sure about that?
Yeah, I can't remember that guy's name. I don't know if I've ever known his name, but I know who you're talking about.
But yeah, I guess some exciting stuff coming this year, but
lots of limb legs, because there's another company that Expedition has a set now.
Well, everyone just does whatever Josh Jones asks them to do. I want limb legs. Okay, and then it happens. So
I just need to get myself a mohawk, and then maybe people start
maybe you'll listen. 70,000 followers, and everyone listens. But I'd rather him be asking or saying crap that we should see than some of these social media beauties that are sitting at 200,000 plus followers that bring their bow in and don't even know what's going on. So.
There's a lot of those, but I mean, and sadly, you can kind of pick them out pretty quick. Where it's like, you don't really know what you're.
No.
But what's okay? So I do have something I want to talk about. It's that bow level.
Bow
that
level.
you sent me, where it threads into your burger hole.
Oh, yeah.
So it's a set of 2. I don't remember who makes it, but so basically it's a tube and it's got a level in it, and then you take one of them and you thread it into your stabilizer, and then you take the other one and you thread it into the inside of the burger hole on the riser, and there's a little level in there, so then that way you can level the bow on both axes. And they want what, $80?
Oh God, yeah, it's $80, isn't it? Yeah,
$80 for that system. And like kind of right away, I was like, yeah, I guess it's kind of a cool idea, but at the same time, like I don't see how it could be accurate because you're threading it in, and so if you're threading it in, there needs to be some play. There has to be,
right?
Unless you're butting it all the way in, and then you're guaranteed that hole is machined square.
Yeah.
And the guy in the video commented, because people were asking those questions, and the guy in the video commented and said, these high-end bows are very precisely machined, and so it's guaranteed that threaded hole is at a is perpendicular to the riser of the bow. And I'm just like, I just don't think you can't guarantee that. You cannot.
Okay, well, if that's guaranteed that it's threaded, good job. They threaded it super good. But look at Hoyt and PSE. I believe their shelf moves just enough. Like, has an angle, just enough of an angle where if you went to bury it all the way in, now you're going to be off at an angle because of the way the riser shape is.
Or even the finish on the outside could prevent it from
just ask Matthews how good there is.
Being plumb or being square. So I don't know. I mean, and for $80, that's crazy.
Yeah. When I opened it, I was like, oh, maybe $40 or something, and I saw 80. I'm like, oh, okay.
But I really honestly don't know if there's anything. Everything has its. There's those levels that you can clamp onto the string. And ideally, I think you want to have your sight level more with your string and less with the riser of the bow. So that was another kind of hole that I saw in that concept. And then, what was the other thing? I've always just, I just hold it up to a plumb door jamb. I put a level up to the door jamb, make sure the door jamb is level, and then I just make sure the pockets are up on there. But I don't know for a fact that both of those pockets are seated perfectly the way that they should be.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think, we're probably splitting hairs by getting way too precise. But I think the claim is that it's more precise to go that route. And I don't know. I guess it's more compact, and I'm sure it works. But
I like the simplicity, the idea of it, just being able to screw it in instead of getting it on a string or even then, some of these sites suck to mount that third axis level too.
The Hamsky one?
Yeah, this, your proof is not bad. The ones that have this big old bar, that you can get onto, but not all are made equal. So,
right, yeah.
Some of them can be a pain in the butt, but yeah. I don't know. There's always room for improvement. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Eeyore. Yeah, I don't know. There was one thing that you said that I was like, oh damn, I was thinking of that today too. I saw someone on Archery Talk that's like, I'm so sick of these social media influencers, ruining my hobby, and I'm like, okay, I get behind that where it's like, the social media guys, it's like they're kind of annoying because half of them probably don't know how to tune a bow or whatever. I guess it can be annoying, I guess, but at the same time, I think it's also good. And it's like you don't have to take what they say about it. I look at it, every single person is paid to say what they're getting or shooting, because unfortunately that's the majority, or incentivized to, run whatever they're running. Mm-hmm. And it's like, okay, well, look at it that way and just try and pull out the facts and things that, when, when a square is a square, it's going to be square whether they're trying to tell you it's round or not.
Yeah.
So just pull out the facts that you get. I like the idea of it just because it's like it gets more marketing and hype out there for these companies. Just, it helps get it out there because not every dealer carries their stuff or not, not every dealer wants to or will bring it in or whatever. So it helps get it out there, and it's just information up front instead of showing up at the shop and going, okay, take a half a day out of this guy that's trying to, make a living here, just learn me on this bow all to find out I hate it.
Right.
So I think there's good and bad with the social medias. I hate it, but at the same time I think it's really good.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's good if they're getting into it for the purposes of learning. They're using it as a platform to learn. So instead of coming out and saying, like, I watched a 3-hour video and took a George Chapman bow technician course, and now you're an expert and now you know everything. Like, they come into it with the mindset of like, hey, this is something I'm getting into. It's something I really want to do, and I want you to follow along with my journey. And then, they preface by saying like, this is my experience, or this is what I've experienced throughout this process. But like, if you know a better way, or like if I say something that isn't correct, like, please correct me, and like open it up as like a conversation piece instead of just like claiming that you know what you're talking about.
Right.
And so immediately where my head was going when you said that is I was like, well, I don't know how it would – the only way it could ruin your hobby is if you're actually on social media. If you're not on social media, then who cares? Just keep doing what you're going to do and do what you want. But, like, for us, it as a manufacturer and, like, taking calls and stuff like that, sometimes it can be – because, what do we call it? It's the old Levi Morgan – we know Levi put out a new video because all of a sudden here comes the phone calls. Everybody's calling us. Well, Levi says this. Well, this and that. This is what we got to. This is what he says you got to do. And then you're just like,
saw a video.
And I love the guy. So it's nothing against him. I'm just saying that, sometimes it creates that sort of a headache where it's just like, okay, Levi said this, but have you watched all of his videos? Have you also seen some of the other things that he talks about too? Like, you can't just take this one clip, this 1 second of something that he said, and apply it across the board. So, but yeah, I'm with you on that too. It's funny because actually I took a hiatus from social media for a little while, like that whole time when, like in the summer when we were busy, and I was just like not going on there. Sadly, unfortunately, there was maybe some of our customers that had questions that their questions didn't get answered. They probably end up having to call in, but it was great. I didn't miss it.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's funny. It's like, you like the comments on that guy that was saying that is like, I mean, you kind of only make it yourself,
Yeah.
You decide whether it ruins your hobby or not.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's where they're just like, take the facts, don't look at it as like this guy's selling me something, because now it's like Dan Statton is the guy that I thought of when you were saying that, like elk shape, it's like he started with the I want to learn everything, and so he did start learning and asked Josh a bunch of questions, and that's how he kind of got into it, podium archer and all this stuff, and he did the videos to follow along. Well, he makes it obvious now. Matthews, he's paid. He's paid out to, essentially, whether it's in form of product or what. He shoots for Matthews, so of course he's going to say, this new Arc 30 is the best amazing bow that's ever been. And then next year it's going to be the same thing. But if you listen to it as just, okay, what features does it have, and that sort of thing, it's like, you don't have to listen to him and just take it as a sales pitch. Like, he's just trying to get more information out there of, this is the Arc 30. There it is. But I thought it was kind of funny. I'm just like, social media is ruining my hobby. Well, get rid of it. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't see how,
I'm so sick of these fanboys. Yeah, fanboys are annoying, but like they have a purpose. So I don't know. Just archery talk. It's so funny. I think I was talking to Trent with Hoyt Easton Summit. And he's like, archery talk's still a thing. I'm like, right? Yeah.
It is. I mean, it's lucrative. I mean, it's wild. You go on there, and there's still people posting constantly.
Every day. And I honestly, beyond that, where do you sell your stuff?
eBay.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, beyond that.
If you want to give up 13%.
Right. And then after eBay, then what? Because I think Facebook, you can't do it. So just got to know people that want to buy stuff.
I think a lot of people do trade-ins.
Well, yeah. And I'm thinking, like, for us, like, how the hell are we going to do a trade-in? We ain't doing a trade-in.
Nope.
So, like, for the retail guy, go ahead, trade in. Go to your local dealer.
Yeah.
Please. Way smarter idea than half the things. I mean, maybe you could sell your bow for couple $100 more, or you just give it to your dealer and take that money and put it into your new one. But yeah, for us, we're screwed.
Almost every bow I've sold has been on eBay, with the exception of 2 bows that I sold to Charles.
Yeah.
But, and I mean, I don't like dealing with I think you can post on Craigslist.
Yeah, you can.
Archery stuff. Almost forgot about Craigslist, but that whole marketplace is like, man, I tried to sell a car on Marketplace once, and
is it still available?
I seriously wanted it to slit my throat. It's hundreds of messages, like just of people asking if it's still available, and you're like, yes, it is, and then no response. I'm like, what? I don't understand. And then you'll get people that'll be like, hey, I live an hour away. Can you bring it to me?
Yeah.
What?
It makes me not want to sell my Sitka stuff, because it's like, that's exactly what happened when I was selling it all. Hey, I don't know, just you name it. It's like, you think this will fit like a kid? I don't know. It's a men's medium. You tell me. Like, look it up, man.
But that's what I like about eBay, because you give up some of your sale, but I just factor it in. And I'm never really in desperate mode, right? So, like, I can put something on there, and I don't care if it's on there for a year. But I've never had anything on for more than 3 months. Eventually, someone will buy it. And then sometimes if you have a listing on there for so long, eBay will allow you to promote it at a cheaper price.
Nice.
So, like, if there's people watching it, you can send those specific people a message, and you can just say, hey, I'm going to say I'm selling something for $100. I'll be like, hey, here's a one-time offer, $80. What do you think? And then the first person to buy it buys it. So that's a good way to go too. But I don't get so much of that. Like, every once in a while you get somebody. There was one, I sold a crossbow a few years ago. It was one of my strikers when I was with Bowtech. And the guy, I don't know what the deal was. It had like a scratch in the stock or something like that. And so the guy wanted to return it. And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, well, all sales are final. But I was like, if it's still in good shape and you want to return it, you're flipping the bill on the shipping back to me, and I'm not getting your shipping money back to you when it gets to me. And he sent it back to me. Everything was fine except for that tiny little scratch that he didn't like, and I wasn't out anything other than some of my time. But I've just had a lot less headaches. Like that. We tried to sell Susan's van on there once, and I was just like, oh my God, it was so bad.
On the Facebook Marketplace? Yeah.
So bad. Horrible. Thank God my neighbor bought my truck, because I couldn't deal with that anymore.
Yeah.
But anyway, well, I think that's it. I think we probably should get back to it. Thanks a lot for hanging out with us and listening along. If you have any comments or questions or anything like that, feel free to comment below on the YouTube page. You can also send me an email. It's rick@vaportrailarchery.com. Hollywood, I don't know if you want people contacting you. You probably got enough emails in your inbox as it is.
Yeah. At this point, I'd rather them go on social media. Still probably won't reply. Yeah, just don't forget to use the discount code Woody at any of your archery countries or Bawana. And, yeah.
And, yes, of course, make sure you keep an eye on the Vapor Trail social channels for the upcoming excitement that we have coming up here for the 12 days of Christmas. And with that, we're going to pack up our bows and arrows, and we're hitting the range.
Peace.
Have a great day, everybody. Vapor Trail is now offering an exclusive discount to the Range Podcast listeners. Enter promo code TRP15, that's TRP15, at checkout for 15% off VTX bowstrings and Vapor Trail and Stokerized branded t-shirts, hats, and other gear.